off?
I think I'll get it out of the way on a who's not.
Okay, do it.
The Orioles.
Right.
They got swept.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Starts now.
The moment my son saw a redwood tree is the moment I knew that for him.
Hey, what's up, and welcome to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. It's me, your host, Nate Couser. I'm here with you all. My guest today, as was last week, is Natasha Richburg. She is the phenomenal. See, I did it. She is phenomenal. Well, we calling her a life coach for this series.
Oh, okay.
Because she's giving us a lot of information on the arts, business, and just personal, interpersonal skill sets, that social living, if you will, of it all. And then joining us again is Miss Monique Barnes.
Oh, hi.
She's a teaching artist with me at LTYC, at Curtis Bay of it all. She's a phenomenal singer. And we'll have a conversation today. And then on the phone, in probably like 20 minutes, will be Mr. Sonny Dumarsais.
Yes, you said that.
You said, see? Look at that, see?
You go ahead.
I be doing my thing.
Oh, yes, you
Now, that took me almost 2 years. I'm not going to lie to you all.
I thought you were going to say a couple weeks, maybe 2 days, years.
In the conversation, I've said 3 different names. But, Sonny, I really, this man it's hard to meet nice people who have not been jaded or kind of turned around in this artistry life. Right. And Sonny is a nice person. Right. Now, if he means somewhere else, I've never seen it. I don't know that person. I'm not going to acknowledge it. But Sonny is a really talented young man. I met him through Miss Richburg. I've gotten to see him perform in many different atmospheres in terms of him being a part of and then him now being the face of. So he'll be talking more about himself as a businessman and as an artist and all that he does. He has a show coming up next week. Yes. So we're going to promote that a little bit. And hopefully he sent me in some music because we're playing music now on the Artist Exchange. So if you want your music played, hit us up, the Artist Exchange Radio Show at gmail.com. Send me your radio edited music and MP3 format to my email address, and you'll be able to go to our website, www.beexposedradio.com, and hear said music. And you'll also be able to hear the music throughout the commercial break. So I'm going to let Ms. Richburg take the helm a little bit, and she's going to go through the bullet points for the day, and we're going to just start an initial conversation with myself, Ms. Richburg, and Miss Monique. So it's all on you, Miss Lady.
Thank you. And I would like to tell the listening audience I am the talent manager for Sonny Dumarsais, and today what we're going to talk about, what is your life's purpose? Because in this series and looking at Art-trepreneurship, we have to think of ourselves not only as an artist but as a business person, and we have to plan. So today we're going to talk about 4 areas. What do you have a plan for your artistry and for yourself as a business, as an artist? What question drives your destiny? Each of us have a question. Sometimes a question is as simple as, am I good enough? And then what is
Check and see if your mic is on.
Then what is your personal mantra?
Yours on. Green light on. Let me see the face of it. Yes, you got it.
Yeah. Then your personal mantra. My mantra is I forget. I change it every year. But one of the mantras that I have, understanding who I am and how I can be a better person. And then, are you comfortable sharing your purpose with others? I mean, if you're a great singer, a great musician, a great artist, and you keep it in your red room under the table and nobody can see it, how will others know about you? So we want to open up, and I'll talk a little bit about the plans that I do as part of my business with Natasha Production. Every year I lay out a one-year plan for what we're going to do to reach the goals and objectives that we have for the business based on the initial strategy. Now let's talk about the strategy I used for artist Sonny Dumarsais. The first part of the strategy was to look at his digital footprint, make sure the digital footprint represented the light and the perfection of the artist that he is. So when people go to his website, they can see that not only is he an artist in his own right, but he also supports other people's artistry, and he's in front of audiences all across the country and the world. So that part is done. The next thing is, can we get in periodicals, magazines, radio interviews, so that way people can hear the voice. Like Nate said, he's a very nice person, and he is a very nice person, and a very fun person, and funny, and you'll find that out shortly. And so we wanted the audiences to see that. The next thing we wanted to do, we wanted to tour throughout a geographic area so people in the area can see him, and so we toured throughout New York and up and down the East Coast to get a flavor for what audiences want to see and what audiences like. And then from the personal persona, and he can talk about that himself and personal mantra, it's just that you can see when Sonny Dumarsais enters the room, he makes sure he connects with every single person in the audience, speaks to them, asks them how they're doing, and make sure everything's okay. That's check. And the next thing, some people don't like it, I'm not a fan of it, but I know we have to do it, is being on social media. We get on social media to let people know what we're doing and have an opportunity to show people where we're going and where we are. And from that perspective, it helps people see the purpose of what's next. And so in doing that as an artist, no matter if you are the type of person that simply paints, if you paint, at some place you have to show, at some point in time you have to show people things that you paint and post it or put it out at an art exhibit so people can react to it, because you don't know what people like and you don't know what people don't like. So the only way you're going to know that is to do it. So based on the plan that we have in place, a year working the plan, then when it comes to like me as a talent manager for 2019, with the plan. But the plan does build upon the digital footprint that we have, the relationships that we met, the opportunity to continue to meet people on a radio audience, and an opportunity to meet people one-on-one. Sonny will talk about it, and next week we're actually going to do Mice in the Attic, which is a Facebook Live acoustic set that will be positioned here in Baltimore, Maryland, and you can't come to the location, but you can watch it on Facebook Live. And then the next week we're going to New York to perform live at the Delancey, and we will be doing new music at that time. So one thing about being comfortable with yourself as an artist, as you do your plan, and we talked last week about knowing yourself. Before you can plan, you have to know who you are. You have to have a sense of how people view you. You have to have a sense in how they view you. Do you want them to continue to view you that way, or do you want to make some modifications? You know how when artists go away and then they come back and they might have blonde hair.
Yes, Rihanna.
Daniel Caesar. Because they don't want you to be stuck in the imagery of who they were. They want you to move your focus to where they are now. And then your character, who you are when no one's looking. I mean, you can be who you are when no one's looking, but if you react to comments on Facebook, that gives people some insight to maybe what you're thinking. So who you are, do you like the fact that people like you and enjoy you? Not talking about the haters, because the haters gonna always hate. I'm talking about people who enjoy what you do and what you bring to the table. And so then when you get to the point in your artistry, because you do have to do things for free. You do have to do things gratis. When is enough enough? When do you say, at this time, I need a stifling of some type? And sometimes you have to make a stance, but the only thing about being an artist, you still have to be in front of people to keep your chops up. So sometimes, even though you may not get paid, it gives you an opportunity to be in front of people and to hone your skills in front of that audience. And so, enough is enough is different depending on who you are and where you go. I remember a few years back, we went to BET Live in LA, and right next door to the hotel, all of these people were signed up for the J. Cole concert because he was charging $1. Look at that face. $1. He was doing that $1 tour. And enough was enough for him through people not seeing him as an artist. He's like, I want to give my fans a gift. I want them to see me. They were lined up. The grocery store people told us that those people were lined up for like 2 weeks for that $1 concert. Because for him, his enough is enough was reversed instead of I have to give something back where I can touch them, where I can come. Oh yeah, you have to do the high dollar tickets, but enough is enough.
Yeah.
And then the other part we talked about last week, we talked about the knowns. When you're a new artist, the unknown. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So when you first start, you don't know what your audience wants to hear from you until you give them opportunities to hear what you can do. Once they start listening and say, girl, I like that acapella that you sang for us in the back. I loved it. So now you know. So you wasn't an unknown when we met because you didn't know if we would like it.
Right.
But now you're in the known unknown. You know we like it, but you don't know if the audience bigger than us will like it.
Yes.
So the next phase is to put it in an audience bigger than us, and then you'll be in the known, because you'll know whether they like it or not. Right. And so to come out new and to know answers of things you haven't experienced is kind of like, I think the slang is you're playing yourself.
Absolutely.
Is that what that means?
That's exactly what it is.
Because sometimes I say my slang wrong.
That's right, they playing themselves.
So we don't want you, especially a person like me, I don't want you to play yourself. And sometimes when the people are new, you don't want to listen to other people because you know you and you know you good, especially with you being a teacher.
And I found myself doing that, and I started to have to just listen. Just listen to what she has to say. She knows and you don't know. I was a little defensive. I was like, no, I'm spiritual. I know myself. But you were like, I'm also spiritual. I attract what I want to attract. You were always giving me a choice throughout the entire conversation.
I do. And my personal philosophy, you could tell, you might look like a baby, but you can tell you aren't. Because you're like, you're a baby, but you're a mature baby. Because in that, you can tell I wasn't trying to be right. I wasn't trying to be wrong. I was just trying to be heard.
Absolutely.
And so I can't tell you whether you're the best or not. I know I like the way you sing. Now, we don't know what they think. And that's up to you. If you're going to give them an opportunity, but you got vehicles. Tell us what you're going to do on stage, what you've done on stage.
I was in The Wiz at Morgan State University, 2017, and I was Dorothy.
Oh, little teeny Dorothy. Oh my God.
It fit me well, honey.
Good, you sang my song. I love it. Yes. Girl.
Home was my favorite until I learned Soon As I Get Home, because it begins the theme of home at the end. It's the first song that Dorothy sings by herself. And I think that I just resonated with how she was feeling at that time. But I don't think I haven't been performing really since 2017. I sing with a young man. His name is Philip Hartley and the Excaliburs, and he has been singing here in Baltimore for about 7 years.
Oh, wow.
And he's performed at the Wind Up Space. Have you heard of the Wind Up Space?
No.
The Wind Up Space is a very urban, young, open mic type of situation.
Okay.
And you can host your own concerts there and stuff like that. So I've performed there. I've also performed with him at Ram's Head, and I know that that's definitely an honor here in Baltimore.
Yes, it is an honor.
Because I think maybe some old rock and roll bands, you know, famous bands have performed at Ram's Head.
Yes.
Back in the day, Power Plant really was a different scene.
Right.
And I saw when I was walking down the hallway when we were performing, just all the different people. I think, I don't want to say any wrong names, but I know some really good rock and roll artists have performed there. And so performing at Ram's Head was really an exciting experience. That's how I knew that he was a little bit more local than I thought he was, and that I was also greater than I thought I was. Because like you said, you have to actually sing, actually try. And I think that now that I'm thinking about what you're saying, singing for those audiences taught me a lot, because I didn't get paid to sing.
But you did pay, yes, because enough is not enough yet. You needed to do that to get an assessment of where you are with that regard. Right.
Absolutely.
Right, because sometimes people first come out and they say, I want to get paid. You are getting paid because you're doing an assessment.
An experience.
Yes, that experience that lets you know, do I even want to do this?
Can I handle the before, the waiting, the sound check? Or the lack thereof sound check.
Thank you. I was getting ready to say.
You gotta be able to deal with that.
Right.
So I definitely understand what you're saying, because, you know, even weddings, funerals, I sing for those, and I don't always get paid, but you never know what your presence means for this family that is burying their loved ones.
Right. That's right. And so, and then you see the impact that you have on people's lives that's feeding your spirit, that's helping you to understand.
Absolutely.
And I understand, you know, in your particular case, you really don't want to deal with social media. But let's go back into what is your life's purpose. Unfortunately or fortunately, we're in a state and time where the powers that be that give us entry into the wonderful world of artistry look at our social media. They look at our digital footprint. And not only do they look at the footprint, they look at the quality of it. I'm very particular to have my digital footprint laced with professional photos. I do phone to let people know I'm human, but laced because I want them to see me, not over made up. So when they see me in person, I look different. I want them to see me. When you meet me in person, I look the same. Right. I might be a little shorter than you think, but I still look the same. But the digital footprint, don't you say anything, Denise. My digital footprint is everything. And that's so unfortunate, except with an actress or somebody on Broadway like yourself.
But ironically, I love taking pictures, and that's always been a hobby. So I already have a portfolio probably set up, but that's because it's what I do. So
why'd you tell me that? I was good until you said that. I was good. Then you close the door. I'm not talking to you. Okay. No, I'm back. Open it up.
May I come in?
Yes, you can come in. So you have pictures?
I have lots of headshots, and then because I used to audition, you have to update your headshots ever so often. So, you know, I have lots of headshots, and like I said, I love to take pictures. I have a lot of friends that take pictures, so I have all of that. Maybe I'm more ready than I think I am.
I think you are. Now, based on our original conversation, I thought maybe you weren't ready. But now, as I talk about it, and as you said, I gave you choices, maybe I didn't, I assumed, and that's wrong to assume, that you weren't in the area of taking pictures and having them ready. But if you have an opportunity for a wonderful footprint, Let's get
I
it.
have lots of photos, and I change my hair a lot, but that doesn't, you can always see me if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
You can always see me. I've had short hair, long hair. I have really long hair. Right now I'm growing it back. I do different braids and things like that. I'm always very natural, but I didn't want to confuse you because I changed my hair so much.
No.
But you can always still see.
But still, that's
who I
good
am.
because that tells that you're very eclectic and you're flexible. So from your footprint, I would see that you're eclectic, you're flexible, and then you're open.
Yes.
But see, this is, and what we talked about last week, the difference between a raw artist and someone who had an educational arts background. These are things that we are taught to know in preparation for audition.
Right.
So you're taught to do these things already. The problem is many people don't go the educational route anymore. So a headshot isn't important to you, but you don't know the importance of a headshot, a clean image, knowing that I don't need all of this extra background and over makeup. Because if you ever, went to go get an audition headshot, they'll tell you don't come with makeup on.
Right.
They'll touch you up where places you need.
Right.
Wear a
But you
solid color.
You have to show up as yourself.
Right.
And I said that before.
They
like,
even tell you sometimes not to do your hair.
Right.
Because they'll either put you in a bun or
Right.
they want your natural state.
Right.
They don't want a flat on. They don't, that's not who you are.
Right.
And I made the mistake my very first headshot. I went to someone who did a lot of celebrities and a lot of the local people that come through Baltimore and celebrities and such. And I didn't look anything like the headshot. I've never spent so much money on a headshot, but I don't look like myself. I look overly made up. I had chicken pox, so I still had some of the remnants on my face. Got rid of all of that. My cheeks were a little bit more sucked in and contoured and
I don't like contour.
But that's a person who does high-end photography, so that's what to be expected for models and such.
Okay.
But it's a difference, like we said last week, between somebody who went to school, because at least you have a basis. It's just the business of what you doing isn't really spelled out for you. How you spend the first check, how do you go get the money, like those things aren't talked about. But we then have the raw artist who learns to hustle, and they learn about I gotta get that money. And they all the other things.
That's a lot of,
and it's not just a millennial thing, it's this, I did not learn the significance of me showing up to rehearsal on time, or me being at every rehearsal, or the fact that I need a rehearsal. I didn't learn that aspect. Because we went to school, but we get tired of rehearsal. I have t-shirts that say I have rehearsal on it. But you know the importance and the significance. But I meet a lot of artists that be like, well, I'll rehearse, I'll say my lines a little bit before.
I love it.
Right. Like most of us love the rehearsal process. I can't stand doing the actual show. I really do not like doing the actual show. I love the rehearsal.
I love
That's
it.
safe to me. That is my moment of being a creative artist.
Wow.
I get to learn my choices.
Right.
What choice is this Dorothy going to make? What am I going to do? That's when I found myself. I found how I was going to do certain lines that you were going to remember that she said it like that, or that small nuance in that song that makes me different than Stephanie Mills and Diana.
You learn from the rehearsal process that the job of the director isn't to tell you what to do.
Right.
You're supposed to come there with options for them.
See, I'm a director.
You are.
I didn't know that.
See?
Yes, you are.
I got my nugget.
You are directing me in the right path.
I didn't know that.
We're gonna go pay some bills and such. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Up next, we'll be talking to Mrs. Sonny Dumarsais. So stay tuned, stay locked into the Artist Exchange Radio Show only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Check out this flashback from the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
That's the biggest thing, is just empowerment. Just get off of the begging line. Just be proud and just get our pride and our dignity back, because as a child, we're taught how to go and beg for a job. Our parents, they literally taught us how to make sure you pull your pants up. Me, I'm 6'7", so I'm a bigger man. I was always taught how to not be threatening or intimidate people when I go into different interviews or different scenarios. And so we're literally taught how to condition ourselves, condition our speech, everything in order to go and beg these people for a job, because we know when we walk in the door, I have to tear down 10 stereotypes before I get past hello. So we need to eliminate that. You know, and we need to eliminate that, and the way that we do that is employing ourselves and employing our brothers and sisters. And so that's our mission, is group economics, uplift ourselves, because I can't empower anyone until I empower myself, and change from just being willing, because it's in my heart and my passion to see my people succeed and see us do better and change the social order, because I know that we are not supposed to be on bottom. I understand who I was. I know I didn't fall out of the sky and land on a plantation. So when you have knowledge of self and you know who you are and what you come from, it's frustrating more than anything to see us in this position.
Tune into the Artist Exchange every Friday 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Saturday 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. live BigExposedRadio.com.
If I sit around, hold up, look, if I sit around.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Starts now.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on VashtiBlue.com. You are witnessing the Art-trepreneur workshop series with Miss Natasha Richburg. I'm behind the camera a little bit today, and Miss Richburg is taking the helm. But we have a special guest with us today, Mr. Sonny Dumarsais.
All right, go ahead.
Yes. How you guys doing?
Bam. Got you. So he's calling in all the way from New Jersey, all the way in New Jersey today, but he has a show coming up, so we're going to get a little bit of his information in terms of what's coming up next. But Miss Richburg about to grill him and about to see if he did his homework. And we about to learn a little bit more about him and just the business of his artistry.
Okay. Okay, Sonny, introduce yourself to the audience. Tell us where you're from and all of that background, and then we'll talk about where you're going, and then I'm going to ask you questions.
Gladly. How you guys doing, Be Exposed Radio? I'm Sonny Dumarsais. I'm from New Jersey. Not too far from y'all, but just a little down the way. I'm from New Jersey, Union, New Jersey, to be more specific. I'm a Haitian American. I've been playing music since I was like a wee little kid. I play guitar professionally. I'm a songwriter. I'm a singer. I've been signed under CNR Productions ever since 2016, and I'm looking to build as an artist, and I have an EP out right now currently. It's called Transitions. That's pretty much, talking about my my rise from being just a musician to being in the front. And right now I'm working on a new EP that I'm still working. It has a working title right now, but it's like with the music is flowing, I'm in a really good place. I'm ready to just start making music and performing live and doing what I feel like I do best.
Yeah,
so that's me.
So tell us where you're going to be, what you're doing next week and the week after.
Well, what I'm doing next week is March 28th. I have a live streaming show called Mice in the Attic. It's a nice little thing that they have. It's almost like NPR Unplugged, the tiny desk like that you got. Like we have like it's a space where we can do like music like very purely. So what we do is I'm gonna bring a couple musicians, a couple singers, and then we're gonna get like a nice little unplugged session going. It's called Mice in the Attic. That's March 28th in Baltimore. So I'll be there next week. And on April 6th, we have a beautiful show set up for you guys. It's at Delancey. It's going to be in New York City, in Manhattan. The venue's called Delancey. My show starts promptly at 9 o'clock, and then we have a very, very, very great show set up for you. I can't wait to perform this new song that I've been drilling in my manager, Natasha Richburg, and I'm very, very excited about it. I'm just excited about music right now.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I can't wait till the world hears your new music and direction that you're going in. So let's talk about the beginning of this. Let's talk about Sonny Dumarsais, the musician who called me up and say, I'm ready to be an artist. How was that time for you? When you called me up and I hung up on you twice. No, that's not just tell them the public version of the story, Sonny.
Well, the public version of the story is I was under another management, and while I was under another management at the time, I was introduced to Miss Richburg as an artist developer, and she was supposed to do my artist development. But during that day, for whatever reason, we can talk about.
No, don't talk about it.
What happened? What happened was I could not make it that day, and Lord knows that Natasha does not play that. She was like, "Listen, it's either you ready or you not ready." So I reached out maybe 3-4 times after that. I think I finally got a sympathetic ear, maybe like the 4th time. And she was like, "You know what? I'm gonna try you one more time. Be here at this time, and if you late, that's it. I don't care how far you drove."
That's the truth.
It is real. It is real because in this industry you got to be cut through like this. So she taught me a lot, man, and I appreciate her life, man. I appreciate her life.
And so talk about how when you came to me, you were a musician, and we spent the first 6 months in transforming you into an artist. What's the difference?
Oh yeah, and it definitely wasn't an easy transition because I was used to pretty much doing what everybody told me to do, like in the sense as a musician, as the proper term is as a sideman. That's the proper term for a musician that's backing somebody. As a sideman, what I did was I just played people's music. I tried to play to the best of my ability and play to the way that the artist wanted. But what I wanted to do personally was I wanted to write songs, because I've been writing songs since I was like maybe like 17 years old, because I wanted to write poems to all the girls in school. So I try to get my poetic on, you know what I'm saying? Poems became songs. So like I like at 26 and dawned on me, I'm like, you know what, I would really love to be an artist, and I realized that it was two different things, because playing behind somebody and being in front is two different things. I had to go from being like the follower to basically being the leader of everybody, well, you know, kind of stepping into my world and kind of trying to, like, you know, try to do all the things that I want to do rather than me doing everything that everybody else wants to do. So it was a big transition for me, but like during those 6 months, you know, she trained me up. She got me ready for like the times that I got to sing on cue, like Homegirl that I just heard from earlier. And, you know, and she got me ready for like performances. I was performing in front of mirrors. I was performing with my guitar. I was learning how to, like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, we were doing some new additions. It's real, like, I promise you, man. I just had to make sure I was in shape. Everything was very crucial to my
push-ups, sit-ups.
Sure. Water, a lot of water.
Drink a lot of water.
All these things are crucial to my transition into being from going from musician to artist.
And let's talk about what we did to enhance and improve your digital footprint.
Well, to be honest, at first, and this another thing I got to thank Miss Richburg for is I didn't have a digital footprint at first. I didn't think one of those things were important. You know, I didn't think that like people were looking for you like that. I thought you could just Google me and then they'll just come up, but it doesn't really work like that. I had to establish a database. So what she did was like she set up all these shows really off the whim of my Instagram videos. Luckily, people thought I can play based on my Instagram videos, and like people were taking like shots in the dark trying to put me on like these different stages. And what she did was she built my platform. You know, we put music out, we built that platform little by little. So now when you Google my name, you can actually see different things. You can see my pictures and all that stuff. But before I literally had nothing. So I literally went from nothing to where I am now. Thank you to Ms. Richburg.
And so let's talk about one of the things that you always said to me is like you talked about your destiny. You wanted to take control over your destiny. So talk us through that thought process for you.
Man, like being in control of your destiny really is, for me personally, is like as much as I love playing other people's music, like somebody can always tell you that you can play it wrong. Or like there's always a way that somebody can always critique you on something that you're doing wrong when you're playing other people's music. I felt like when by creating my own music, there's no really wrong way to do it. I'm free. I feel like very 100% free.
That's
so
you.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be the master of my own destiny, and I wanted to be able to play the music the way I want to play it. If I want to play it slow one night, I'll play it slow one night. If I'm feeling it like that, I want to play it fast one night, I'll play it fast one night. If there's no right or wrong way to do it. So like I needed to be like I need to get myself in a situation where like that kind of thing worked, because like being an artist, especially when you sign and stuff like that, like, you know, there's a lot of things you can't do. So like we're working towards like, you know, being like very independent and being very free with what we're doing. So it's really not about numbers for us. It's really about just putting out genuine, really good and free music. You know what I mean? That's what we're trying to do.
Right. And so that was really good. And tell us about, you know, just give the audience a sneak peek about you having to climb up the mountain to share your vocals with others. I remember the first time you shared your vocals, your raw vocals with me. How was that process for you?
It wasn't easy, man, because like I mean I came up in church like a lot of other you know, black people like me, like or Haitian people or island people, like we all come up in church. We all got to sing. All our parents make us do it. So I did like choir and stuff coming up. But I always wanted to be a musician. I thought the musicians were way cooler. So like you know, I didn't take singing seriously until like. And to be honest, like a side note, my father was a singer. My father is he's a very, very good singer. But like to be honest, I never wanted to really like do exactly what he did, because I didn't want to be a fighter. You know what I'm saying? So like if he's a singer, I'm gonna be a musician. So like I really wasn't so like I really didn't like really care about my voice, even though I heard a lot of people tell me like, yo, you got a nice little voice. You know, you should sing the songs you write. But I'm like, you know, I never really had an interest in it. But like, I took a shot in the dark. You know, I sent one of my vocals to Natasha. She heard something that she like, yo, if you work on this, you can really make this good. And sure enough, enough, we did that, and I'm still working to this day on my vocals. I'm a perfectionist, so I'm never going to claim myself to be like one of the best vocalists, but I promise you, I'm going to sing like the best Sonny Dumarsais that could ever sing. You know what I mean? But other than that, like it was tough though. Like I said, like it was like I had to really form like and create a sound that I didn't even know I had yet. So it's like, you know, it's different. Like especially when you have to like kind of like do these things like when being an artist, because that's that freedom thing I was telling you about. Because like in order for me to sing the songs that I'm writing, like, you know what I'm saying, I gotta have enough confidence within myself to know that, like, you know, I wrote this, like, you know, I can sing it, like, you know what I mean, like, like I hope I can sing it, you know what I mean. So like I just wanted to put myself in a position where I could be a master of my own destiny, where people are not singing my songs or singing it wrong or not doing it justice, and I can just like be able to be in a position where I can like, you know, like be able to like be the artist. Like, you know what I'm saying? It took me a while to get to understand what that was, exactly what being the artist was. But like being the artist really is like just being the person that's the master of his own destiny. Like being in charge of who moves around you, being in charge of your band, being in charge of your singers, of how you sound, your engineers, everybody that you work with, like from the moment you start to the moment you finish is gonna be detrimental part of your career. So you just gotta take everything seriously.
And so one of the things that I want to talk about, and it's natural. You come to this stage with a manager. I have a business mindset. You have an artist mindset. Let's talk about the push and the pull in the mindsets. Because you know we go at it sometimes. The push and the pull of the two different mindsets.
Well, the push and the pull is, like I said, like you gotta kind of compare it like you got like a painter and you got a corporate person. So like the painter is gonna want to like color outside the lines and do a couple of different things that, like, you know what I mean, like that people wouldn't necessarily call, like, you know what I'm saying, conventional. But while you got the business person that's like the high corporate that really wants to do everything by the book, like there's a way to do it, there's a strategy, everything must be done. But like, you know, the artist wants to be free. We want to be like, you know, I want to sing it like this, or I want to do it like that, or I want to say this, or I want to say that. So like the push and pull really is kind of like understanding, like what I learned from Natasha, like in like being in this business, is that like being an artist is a business. Like you are a business, so you kind of gotta like within your creativity, you still gotta be smart enough to do your research on, like, you know, business, on copyrights and stuff like that. Things that's really gonna like push you forward within what you want to do, especially if you know you want to have longevity. Because like I don't want to be an artist that just has one hit. I don't want to be an artist that just not around for, like, you know, like 1 year, you never do it again. I want to be around for a long time. So all these things kind of set you up for that kind of goal that you have in mind, like, you know what I mean. So that's I think that's the best way I can answer that right now.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. That's good, because as sometimes the things that have to take place as a business, it's a direct conflict with your artistry. Yes. And it's a direct conflict. But one of the things that even I was telling Monique here, this is all love when I talk. Absolutely. I want you to win. I will never tell you anything to make you lose if I know it's going to make you lose.
You're not going to give me too much of a conflict.
Right.
You know, just...
That's a fact.
So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show with Sonny Dumarsais. And we have Miss Monique Barnes, and of course our guest host for today, Miss C. Natasha Richburg. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BigExposedRadio.com.
Ruth. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live united. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child. And believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic future. Oh, we read about frogs and flies and pigs with wings, all sorts of juicy stuff. It's a joy to watch all those little faces. I figure I have the time and they have the need. And I've always believed that if we're not here to help each other, then what are we here for really? My name is Ruth Rusey. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
My name is Meera Batra. I have been in this country 32 years, and this is how I live united. America has always been the land of promise, and in my community many families have come for a better life. Coming from another culture myself, I know the desire to become part of a community, to feel at home and to gain the tools for our children and families to succeed. So I advocate for these families with United Way. United Way empowers them to look beyond their histories and to see what opportunities are available. We help them get involved with their kids' schools, network within the community, and when we do, we unite them. We make the community stronger. What I do is something I wish someone had done for me, and I am so grateful I am able to. My name is Meera Batra. I help families see opportunities and succeed. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Exchange Live. The Artist Exchange.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. It's me, your host, Nate. We got a special co-host for today, Miss C. Natasha Richburg. She is part of our, she is, Art-trepreneur series that we're doing for the next 6 weeks, for the last 6 weeks. And we'll be doing it for the upcoming 4 weeks on the show. And each week she'll bring in one of her special clients, her CEI operatives. And she put you through the course. I have to say real quick, our sponsor for today's, for this month's show actually, is the Grit Fund. It's a phenomenal Grit Fund, a grant program that is open to Baltimore citizens to be able to get in and get some cash. If you are an artist, cash is definitely a necessity for life, and it gives you a really, it gives you an ABC way of signing up for a grant. Is a great first grant if you've never applied for a grant before, because grant writing can be a daunting task, but it's great. Just go to the Grit Fund, www.gritfund.org. It's all laid out, it's all simple. You have until the 31st to submit your proposal, and I wish you well. You get up to $7,000 for any art-based initiative that you want to do. So without any further notice, we have Miss Monique Barnes. She's joining us today. She's in our educational corner of the show. And then we have Miss C. Natasha Richburg hosting today. And then on the phone, because he know he best to be here the next time, Mr. Sonny, blues man, Dumarsais. He's on the phone. And Miss Richburg will continue with her line of questioning, if you will.
Okay, Sonny, so we're back. And one of the things I wanted to talk about at the point, and I know with being an artist, moving from musician to artist, is it everything you thought it would be? Let's talk about the highs and the lows of the transition.
Especially when the bill's in his name.
It was hard. Like I definitely got to say it was hard. The reason why it was a hard transition for me is because like I'm used to like the way I'm just used to just being a musician. Like so like it's kind of it's a way more laid back like appeal. Like rather than like, you know, having to worry about the pictures or worried about how you look, and then you sit in the makeup for about an hour and I don't really do that. You know what I mean? Like so like it's just like all these different things you gotta learn about being an artist. Like I said, like you being a brand, like it's different than being just a musician that comes over there like to share my gift with you and leave. Like just, you know what I'm saying, get my seconds to be out. But like you literally are the brand. People want to talk to you. People want to interact with you. People want to see you. People want to, you know, you want to like touch people's all five senses. You want to touch people's all five senses. Like, you know, like as being an artist. So like, you know, like the transition was just like it was different. It was hard for me because I really had to learn how to be the leader that I never really wanted to be, but I grew into be. So yeah.
And can we talk about going down to Mississippi? That experience.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
Can you talk about that experience? How was that for you? And can you tell them what that was?
Well, we went down to Mississippi for a festival. It was an indie artist festival.
Yes.
And it was beautiful too because like they had a lot of these like raw, like talented people from Mississippi that like, you know what I'm saying, they all had bands too, which was crazy. And then like they all like they had like a very nice showcase for R&B like specifically that night. And we got to fly out to Mississippi to do that. But like I said, like you know, traveling period, like it's another thing you have to learn as an artist because sometimes they can go wrong, sometimes they can go right. You know what I mean? Like sometimes we lose luggage. Sometimes it's like our stuff is delayed, or like, you know, one time I left my like the airport lost one of my guitars like before a show I had to do a life, and like I was almost completely screwed. Like things are definitely gonna happen on your road to doing what you gotta do. At the same time, like, you know, but we like overall we had like amazing time in Mississippi. Mississippi was great. I got to do my first show without a band technically because I was just playing my guitar on my track. But at the same time, it was amazing. I felt like I got. It's good to get like a really good reception from people that don't know you. So I feel like that's like one of like it's a great gift like to be a part of. But Mississippi was amazing.
So him being the boss, you being the boss now, Sonny, opposed to being a part of the band. What's that difference?
And you are the boss, Sonny. I always tell you I work for you. I do say that. Go ahead, Nate.
So because if people don't know, Sonny was also a part of. Is he still in? So he's a part of Life Jennings' band, right? Actually, and that's I got to see him in both environments, and he's still the same person. But how is it now having all this entourage and these responsibilities on your shoulders versus you being a responsibility for someone?
It's almost like you going to somebody's housewarming, right? And then somebody coming to your housewarming.
Yeah, that's true.
Like all the responsibility that you have going to somebody else's house, you know what I'm saying? You don't gotta clean up, you gotta like nothing like that. Like you just go there like willy nilly, have a good time and go home. But when it's your house, it's literally your responsibility. You gotta make sure it looks clean, you gotta make sure it's presentable. At the end of the day, you gotta clean up after all that on top of that. So it's pretty hot. That's like my best comparison to that.
He must have just got a new place or something. Cause
he tell the housewarming. So Sonny, talk about when we went down the IMEA Awards, International Music Entertainment Awards in Kentucky, Opeyville.
And that was an incredible experience too because I actually won my first awards, but like on the road there, like we lost our luggage. Like we literally had to change. Like we had everything planned because you know, like if you know anything about Natasha, Richburg, everything's already planned, like days, weeks, months ahead. Like so, we already knew exactly what we had to do. But like the day just said no. The day was just like, nah, it's not gonna go like that. Like it's just like it just didn't go like that. Everything that we wanted to happen didn't happen like that at all. Like so. We lost our luggage, we had to change clothes, you know what I'm saying? Natasha had to switch to something that she didn't really like.
We had to stop at the store and shop. Remember?
Yeah, we had to shop, we had to stop at the store to go get like completely new clothes because like the airport had to bring our stuff. And like I said, like with situations like this, sometimes you fly into places and you're literally leaving the next day. So like we really didn't have time to do anything like you know, drastic, so we had to like stop anywhere we can stop and then literally just go straight there. And I won that day too, so it was crazy. Like, so like it's like it wasn't bittersweet, but at the same time, you just know that like with every reward, that you gotta work hard for something. Like something's gotta go wrong. Like,
and I hope that is.
Man, you gonna keep it moving, right? You gotta keep it pushing. The show must go on.
And Sonny, I hope that is teaching you how to be more relaxed versus being always on edge, because I've seen that happen to artists and it totally threw them off and they weren't able to function because they thinking about that luggage that's left in another city. So is it teaching you how to roll with the punches?
It's something that you kind of got to learn, to be honest with you. It's almost like you with the you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. It's almost like you with the acting, Nate. Like as soon as people see you, like I said, you're a brand. So like you literally kind of like you kind of got to play that role. You got to be Nate Couser. You got to be like that person that they expect you to be. So like whether you're mad about your luggage or whether you're mad about your stuff not really being there, I still got to be that person because if I never meet this person again, and then they say like, oh, Sonny was a jerk, he was, and like they don't know I lost my luggage. You know what I'm saying? So they can just be like, oh, I met Sonny Dumarsais, he wasn't cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so you gotta kind of have that mindset of always being on. You kind of always gotta be on. Like it's like as soon as you leave your house, you gotta be on. You gotta remember there's always somebody watching you. There's always somebody trying to see what you're gonna do next. There's always like, you know what I mean? Like you always have to be on in that sense. Like you can't really. There's really no time for bad attitudes in that sense. That's when people start to not like you. You know what I mean? Like it's like I said, like it's not really about a popularity contest, but at the same time, as an artist, you want to be able to relate to people, so people can't talk to you, and nobody gonna want to listen to you. So
you want your best foot to always be what is being presented versus, you know, just having a blasé. This is a blasé world that we're living in now, and everybody feel like whatever emotion I have, I can wear it on my sleeve. And the people you're coming across don't deserve that.
Right.
So it has nothing to do about you personally. It's people that you're coming across and the things in life that you say you want. If you want to be your best self and live your best life, you got to give your best. So it's a reciprocal thing. You can't just be whoever you feel like being that day. And I notice a lot of, and I hate to keep blaming millennials, but it's a millennial thing. It's a millennial mindset. I can be whatever emotion I want and give to you that in that moment. And that's not conducive to you being successful.
Right. Right.
I think that teaching helps us with that.
I agree with that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, but tell us more about this journey that you've been on.
Right.
Because this person that I see now, this lover man, you know, I don't know who this is, you know?
It's kind of going to change in the next.
I was going to say, wait till he hear I'll be dead.
So this is the first single off where he's more of the lover man. But we're going to go through that relationship.
Like, I don't know this guy.
You're gonna say Sonny done growed up.
We've been following. It's definitely an evolution. So how this has happened over the course of maybe 2 years. So this growth process for you, how are you like maintaining stability right now?
Woo,
you're
that's a
traveling
good
more,
one.
You're learning more. I'm quite sure the homework is getting harder, Mr. Sonny. I'm quite sure she's throwing the hard homework at you now. So how has this been over the last 2 years? What has this journey been like? And you still have in multiple bands though right now.
And it's, yeah, exactly. Like I said, like it's crazy because just last night we were playing for Jonathan Nelson at the church I attend called Abundant Life Family Worship Center, and tonight we're playing for Jason Nelson. Like it's always like for me, it's always like a constant like growing thing. But like as far as the growth thing for me. As far as the growth thing goes for me, like it's been a crazy journey, like cause like what I realized with music is that it leaves you so vulnerable. You have to realize that as an artist, because I can play somebody else's music wrong, like for example, like and then nobody's gonna get on me about it. They'll get on the artist. But being the artist, like you know, you kind of leave yourself so exposed because you're like you're talking about your life, and then people like kind of judge you for it. If they never see you, like I said, like they're like, oh, this guy was in love once and like he got his heart broken. Like he's probably like one of those guys. Like they just make like an assumption based. So you got to be ready, like to kind of give yourself literally, because like it's like I felt like especially I'm a passionate person, so I feel like I literally immersed my life within like my artistry. So like I had to, and I write all my music, so I had to live a lot. Like I had to get over a lot of things. I had to get through a lot of things for me to like continue to write and grow as an artist and as a person. Because as I'm growing as an artist, I'm growing as a person. Because the best artist I want to be is the best person I want to be. So you just kind of have to have a balance between like what you want to be and what you already are presently. So you got to look past where you are right now and then like be able to have a vision to continue to go. Because even as soon as I got the phone with you guys right now, like you know what I'm saying, it's off to go do something else. Like but I have to always be focused and keep the right mentality, like you know what I'm saying, like in mind, because like to keep myself stable, I have to continue to go no matter what. Like you know what I mean, like
right.
The bad thing about it sometimes is like we don't really have off days like that. There's not really days we can be like, you know what, I don't really want to go. We still get paid for it. Like you know what I mean, like everything the show always must go on. So like mentally you have to have a really good mentality. You have to be like ready for like people to criticize you. You got to be ready for people to love you. You got to be ready for people to they may hate you. You know what I'm saying? Because like I remember I played a song one time. I did a cover as a musician. I think it was a Jimi Hendrix cover. I didn't play it wrong. But I think I just didn't play it the way Jimmy played. I'm not Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
This guy was furious. This guy was like, "How dare you play Purple Haze like that?" I was like, "Oh, like I had no idea like that." People took stuff like that serious, so they kind of goes hand in hand like being an artist. Like you just gotta like as you grow within being like an artist, you just gotta like grow with like your life. Like as your life continue to grow, just document it. I feel like what I'm doing right now is just documenting how my life is going,
right?
And just like you know what I'm saying, like kind of like just like building like and letting the people grow with me too at the same time. I don't want to just grow by myself. I want to grow with the people that listen to me.
And one of the
and I want them to hear that I grow too.
And one of the things that at this stage for any new artists that are listening right now, when you were in the unknown stage, you know, going into the studio at your own direction, that was one thing. But then you started knowing that I don't really know how to work all this, so you had some known unknowns. I don't know how to work all this equipment, but I'm going to sit around and watch a little more. And now you've gone into the studio, that still with a known, you know what you know, and you know the kind of producer you want because of the history we had in the past. And I admit, I pushed you in the studio because you were too slow for me, but now I don't have to push you, and you're in the studio right now, and I hear my music.
I push myself because I just like I said, I hear you in my head, and I'm like, you know what, yo, run that back. let me do that one more time.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you have to have to be an artist, you have to have a culture of hard work. Like, you can't be lazy to be an artist. It's really hard to do. I'm not gonna say you're not gonna make it, but it's really, really hard. Your chances are very slim.
It's really, really hard. But one of the things I can say, Sonny, you understand it spiritually. You gotta have your spiritual health. You gotta be physically in shape. You know, anybody who comes.
I'm 28. I just had my first therapy session like 3 weeks ago. Like it's been going great. It's always growing that you can do. Like I know that Black people, it's really hard for us to like go to therapy, but like it actually really helps. Like your mental is really important as an artist because if you don't have it, like you don't lose your mind. You see how crazy these artists go.
That's what I was telling you.
You see how crazy these artists go. It's because you gotta have you have to have a good mental space. You gotta accept the things you can't change and change the things you can. That's really all it is.
Right. And plus, one of the things that we say, you gotta get your rest.
Yes. That's very true.
We talked about that last week. You got to figure out a way that rest is just important as exercise. Right. It's just important as eating right. It's just important. You know, I say, Sonny, you drinking your water? You drinking your water? That's just as important as drinking your.
Yo, Sonny, you look tired doing this photo shoot. Don't let that happen again. You better get your rest. You know what I'm saying? Like. I'm telling you, it's already bad. Cause I already got to take you out, smile. So like if I'm tired, it's over. So I got to make sure that I'm on point.
So let me ask you this before we have to go. I really want you, if somebody says Sonny Dumarsais, talk about the man that they're going to experience when your next single comes out and then your next project. Who is that Sonny Dumarsais?
Well, this Sonny Dumarsais is like. I'm growing up, like I'm, you know what I'm saying, like it's safe to say that I'm grown, like, at the same time, like I'm still like young and like not in my mindset, but young, like and still like I'm still learning like a lot more. So what I want people to get out of this is that number one is that I'm gonna be 100% honest with the things that I'm saying. Like I'm definitely not gonna like hold my tongue. I'm not afraid to say things anymore. So like I feel like that's the way grown men should be. I feel like if grown men ever have a problem, if a grown man ever have issues, like, and if I'm a songwriter, I'm documenting all these things. I want to be able to say it the way I want to say it. I want to be able to do it the way that I want to do it. Like it's just like the way that you want to grow is like, let's say, like the way you want to grow as an artist, you just gotta make sure that like all these things are kind of like lined up, like so you can be the kind of artist that you want to be. Like, so for me, I just want people to see the genuineness in me. I want people to see the musicality in me. I want people to see like my growth vocally. I want people to see my growth lyrically, and I want people to just see like my growth as a person, because more than anything, I'm just becoming a person that I hopefully you'll enjoy to hear and enjoy to have in your house while you're cleaning, enjoy to have in your car while you're driving. You know what I mean? Like just enjoy to be around. Hopefully, I pray to God.
That's good.
Are you enjoying it though? Like, are you able to enjoy it? You're on the road more. You're working more. Are you able to enjoy any part of this journey? Do you have time for it?
Yes. Like what I enjoy the most is what you got to realize is what you got to enjoy the most is the journey. Because at one point I used to think that the highlights of the journey were the most important parts, but what really the most important part of the journey is the actual journey. Like you gotta be happy that you're not where you were before. That's what I feel like a lot of artists need to be content with, more so than winning Grammys and like, you know what I'm saying, trying to like be the best. I'm not saying that I'm not be the best you can possibly be, but you got to be content with who you are, where you were, and where you are now. Like, you know, I feel like that's a very important thing for artists. Like anybody coming up, just be content. And like always, I'm not saying like to not want to grow. Always grow. Always try to be the best you that you can possibly be. But remember where you were before, and like and compared to where you are now, and then like that will make you a very happy person that day, and then maybe motivate you to keep going.
So that's good. So anything else you want to tell the listening audience about your next events? I can't wait to hear your new music with the full band behind it, but you could talk. I'm sorry.
I can't perform it, seriously. I'm very, very excited to perform this record. But like I said, March 28th, my mic's in the attic. I'm in the Baltimore area. That's it. I'm streaming that live. So if you have me on Instagram, Sonny Dumarsais, SONNY_DUMARSAIS. One more time. SONNY.
Get that check correctly.
MARSAIS. Dumarsais. You can. I have that stream live for you. And April 6th, we have a show at the Dumarsais, and it's like New York is one of my favorite places to play because like it's like such a if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. So like Dumarsais is a beautiful venue. And I can't wait for the show that I have here. I can't say too much about it, but I'm like very excited to do like a lot of new stuff that we got. So it's gonna be great. Like even the old stuff that before, I'm not doing them the same. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to do another surprise pop-up.
I know, you surprised me, Nate, when you came. I'm so happy to see you. Last time I was so happy that he came up. It was
a really nice environment. It was great seeing you, because I think that was the first time I ever saw you perform like a full set.
Oh, okay.
So it was interesting.
That was, if I'm not mistaken, I believe so. Yep.
It was really interesting to see you in your element, and then still allow seeing you support other artists at the same time. Will there be any special guests this time?
Absolutely, yeah. But this one's just me. This is just Sonny.
This is Sonny. So how's our time?
But I'm happy about it, though. I'm very excited, man. I'm happy to go back to Dumarsais and do my thing, and hopefully, like everybody, can feel the vibes that I'm about to bring out to the world.
And so, Sonny, when do we anticipate the single release?
April, definitely.
Sometime in April. Yeah, that's all right.
Like I know April is gonna be the month that y'all get a single, and hopefully within the summertime y'all get the whole record, and it's gonna be so fun.
Yeah.
So fun. I'm very excited about it. We've been in the studio literally, like we're in the studio literally twice a week, like for at least 5 to 6 hours minimum, and we're going in, like we're making sure everything is like on point. And I like every time I go, like I'm more excited than the last time because it's building. It's like we're in a great place right now, so it's awesome. I got the best engineers, I got the best musicians. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. And so
I got the best engineer in the world too.
So Sonny, what would you? Real quick, what would you tell a person who's just going into it and they say after they hear this conversation, they say, "I want to be an artist too. Yes, I'm a church musician, but I have songs. I want to." What advice would you give that person?
Be genuine, number one.
Okay.
Don't be afraid of like naysayers. Like understand the voice that you have as a writer, because that's just your voice. It's like, no matter how a song sounds to you, like it's just your voice. Like sometimes that's why I like with a lot of writers, like people they don't understand how they really sound. But sometimes if you're being honest with yourself and your audience, people always get through it. That's why people will always love Mary J. Blige. People will always love like Lionel Richie and people like that because Stevie Wonder, because their songs sound like soundtracks to your life. So like my advice to any artist would just be genuine, like work hard, like work as hard as you can. If you can work any harder than that, work hard. Get the right people around you. Get people that actually believe in you. Get people that don't believe in you away from you. No negative Nancy's around.
Did I tell you that?
Right. And seriously, yeah. And that's pretty much it. I would encourage anybody that wants to be an artist to be as free as they can. Say what you need to say. And you know, at the same time, like promote something that you know that's gonna be positive too. Not like we already got enough negative stuff in the world. We don't gotta promote any more negative things. Just have fun. Just let's take it back to the days where music was just fun.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that. It's like, you know, it seems like you've come a long way and you have a lot to tell the people. I'm excited about the new area that we're going in, and I have to say that Sonny Dumarsais works hard. I mean, you work really hard.
I still don't think I work hard enough.
Oh no, you work hard. You work hard.
I still don't think I work hard enough, man.
No, you work hard.
Praise God. If I do, praise God. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's you saying that.
No, you need to hear it. I tell you, you're one of the hardest workers I know, because this is hard work, and a lot of people they don't want to do the work.
It's really like it's serious work. I want people to know that. Like I said, I mean, I literally made it a part of my life. That's why I don't think about it as much. Like I try to like just do it without thinking about it. Because if you think about it, you're not gonna do it. I promise you. The day that you sit down and wake up and be like, "Yo, I have all this to do today," you're not gonna do it. Like I promise you. You kind of just gotta just get up and go. Like that. That's kind of the way I feel. So like it's like. If you're really working hard, you're not going to know you're working hard because you're working so hard that you're not going to have time to know that you're working hard.
Right, right.
It's like pretty much.
Right, no. Yeah. And it does take, you know, you have your work that you have to do, and I have my work that I have to do. And if you do your work in the studio, I can do my work. That's right. Give me my stuff so I can do my work, because I do the business side. And that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. And even I need him to post about him, because if he don't post about him, that hurts my work.
I'll ask you, Sonny. So I hear as this grown man is emerging, you are starting to have to make some difficult decisions about team, about direction, just about business. Explain to us, not necessarily the specifics, but explain to us kind of the challenge in having to now make decisions that you were once able to just pass off to Ms. Richburg or, you know, just ignore, but these are decisions that have to be made now. Explain to us that new challenge that you're faced with.
The challenge is like just like what we were saying before, is like it's like know the difference. There's certain things that you can tolerate as somebody that can tolerate as you as a musician, but they won't tolerate as you as like for you as an artist. So I feel like with you know what I'm saying, like, so I feel like with certain things, like you just gotta like be very, 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 very aware, like of yourself, like for real, like because I feel like it can really mess you up. Like if you say the wrong things, if you have the wrong people around you, if you got people like, you know what I'm saying, like not necessarily like on the same page as you, everybody gotta be like minded. Everybody has to be like, you know what I'm saying, like everybody has to want to see you win too. What's the point of having somebody on your team if they don't want to see you win either? Like, or if they wanna like take something that they didn't like necessarily build. Like it's like being in bands or being on the team or being in any kind of position in life, because you're always gonna have to work with people no matter what. You just gotta make sure that you're around people that you can trust, that you can that you can like, you know what I mean, like that really believe in you. Like I'm talking about, like really believe in you, that will sing your songs, that will cover your songs, that will like, you know, promote your songs. It don't take nothing to like somebody's picture. It don't take nothing to comment. It takes 2 seconds. Like, so if you really mess with that person, why not do it? That means if they can't do it, that means they're not really working with you. That's the truth. Like, you will like somebody that you don't see, so you got to make sure that the people around you are just as big as fans as you as you are of like your favorite artist. It's kind of what it got to be. Everything that's around you, like I was saying before, everything that's around you affects your career. So whatever you feel like you're stressing with, like you gotta kind of let it go. If you have dead weight within your crew, you gotta just let it go. You gotta let it go. You gotta be around the right people. It's like, I can't stress that enough.
I think I found Miss Richburg's new writing partner for the next series.
What's up? What's up? I got some great ideas, man.
But you know what? Sonny Dumarsais is part of the reason that I wrote the book about my 36-year marriage. Because he said one day, he said, see, Natasha, I need the blueprint of the 40-year before I get married. So you got to write that book.
Like my parents been married for a long time too, but at the same time, like I said, I grew up Haitian, like, you know what I'm saying. So like it's different seeing like an American family like really do it the way you guys do it. Like it's incredible. Like it's like I respect their relationship, and I want that one day too, definitely. But I feel like after we drop this record, it's gonna be harder and harder. But
Because you're going to be all over the world, sir.
I hope to be all over the world. That's just the goal. I was like, give me this music, man. I'm ready.
So can you give us an overall feeling or vibe that we should be expecting from the new project?
Well, this project, I feel like on my last project, if you like heard it from front to back, what you really heard, like, even though it was some fun parts, what you really heard was like kind of like my torment in a sense. Like I was really heartbroken at the top. So like you don't hear that on this record. This record, I'm really just having fun. Yeah, like I'm having fun on this record. I'm telling my truths. I'm being genuine. I'm being everything. I'm being like I'm being more me than I could possibly be. So like I feel like on this is gonna be like one of the records that's gonna, I feel like one of definitely define my career like as an artist, because I feel like it don't get more genuine than this though. I mean, so I feel like if you're not feeling this for me, then I'm like, then you're just not feeling me like this boy, because I'm like, this is 100% me. I'm not heartbroken anymore. I'm not in that place anymore. I'm in a wonderful place in my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually getting things like together like that I never thought I could do before. Like I'm in a place where I never thought I would be right now. So I'm grateful for everything. So I'm keeping that energy like within my album. I want people to feel that too. I want people to feel that too. I want people to be happy with me.
Yeah.
For real.
So as we close out, Mr. Sonny, I love to ask people this question. I've asked you this several times, but what advice would you give to I would just say your younger self. I won't put it on 17, but your younger self, because you answered it a couple times already.
I would tell my 25-year-old self to not answer that text message, and I know why.
No, you didn't.
Not answering the text message will save your life. You're feeding into something that you don't need.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
Just go home.
That's what I said.
Yo, leave your phone on charge. Just like forget about it. Just don't even worry about it. Like
no more answering. What you doing?
Right. I agree.
Nice lesson right there.
That's good. That's a good one.
Write that on your mirror.
Drop the mic.
It would have eliminated a lot of problems. I'll tell you that.
Drop the mic.
Be proactive.
Boom. I like that.
No.
I'm gonna set the cat after that word right there.
When your boy go to sleep.
Yeah, go to sleep. No surfing on the web, sir. But I really do appreciate you calling in. Can't wait to see you, man. I really am appreciative of the work that you're doing, because it's really helping.
I appreciate you, Mr. Couser. Thank you for having me on.
It's really great to see other people working hard, because it gives you that energy to keep going in your journey. Because sometimes as an artist, you can feel like you're out here all by yourself on an island, and it really is supportive, and it really is a great thing to see somebody working hard. And I live to see what's coming next on the Instagram. I've been looking more. I've been surfing. I've been stalking you a little bit on the social media tip. I've been seeing what's coming up, but I always love to see, you know, the one-on-one and get to know where you're going next and hear about where the journey's been. But no more text messaging at the middle of the night, sir.
I'm telling you, I'm just going to just say no.
So real quick, let us know where we can find you at, where we can get the music at, and any shows that you may have coming up soon.
I'm gonna need all the listeners to get a pen and paper real quick. Okay, for Instagram it's Sonny Dumarsais, SONNY_DUMARSAIS. You can get all my music on Apple Music and Spotify under Sonny Dumarsais. My my first EP is called Transition. You can look out for my next single. I can tell you that the name of the single is called Truth to the Matter. So I hope you guys look out for that. It's coming out in April, and like I said, we have shows coming up. And did I miss anything? No, I don't think I did. Did I miss anything, Natasha?
No, that's it. That's good. No, you did good.
You passed the test, sir.
You passed the test.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, you did real good. You go crazy.
I'll be honest with you, I ain't studied for this one, but
That's how good he is. That's how good he is. He had to study. He just phoned it in. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. Don't forget, go to thegritfund.org. Fill out the grant proposal. Even if you don't get it, it's a great tutorial for ABC of grant writing. It really is. It really will support you. We're going to come back. We'll have a little bit more from Natasha Richburg and Monique. We're going to get her input a little bit. And thank you again, Sonny. I'll see you soon. Get ready, because I'm pulling out all the punches.
Yeah.
Not holding back no more.
No.
You say you're a grown man. We're about to have a grown man conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait. I can't wait.
It's grown man.
I cannot wait.
So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back after this commercial break. So
yes. So wait, say that one more time. Sorry, I missed it.
Oh, no, he's going to commercial.
Back to more show on the Underworld Radio.
Thank you, Super Producer. So we were talking about Jared Kushner, and on tomorrow's show, we're going to really break down some more political discussion, like who's voting against who's going to rebuke, what Republican is going to vote to rebuke President Trump, and some poll numbers suggest it's not going to be as easy going, and we got some other people that just jumped into the presidential race on the Democratic side, and is that still going to work for them?
I had a question.
Yes.
Has Trump said why that Kushner needs clearance? Like
why his son-in-law need clearance? You know, I look at it from the position of President Trump in his dealings. Well, okay, I'm gonna say it just like this. It just seemed like he wants to be this Goomba mob boss, like Gotti. The way he dressed, the way he walked, the way he talked, the way he act. So who would you trust more than anything? You trust your children,
right? Family,
right? So
inner
that's
circle, right?
Yeah, and that's why Cohen was such a good loyal soldier, because he did what he told him, even when he didn't explicitly tell him, because you believe you're being recorded at all times.
Right. It's like The Sopranos.
That's right. That's right. And I think that's what President Trump wants to be. But also, there's this good column that I sent you guys. Was it from? Is it David Brown? It's a New York Times column, and he alludes to who hurt Trump in his life that he has no empathy. Not even for his own children. Because what it suggests is, and a lot of people have said this in inner circles, is that Trump would, if Don Jr. is found to be involved in a lot of this stuff, that he might go to jail. It's a foregone conclusion that Trump may or may not bail out his own child.
See, that's what I want to see, right? Anybody in the inner circle, we know he'll cut them and they'll just be out, like Cohen, right? Will he do that with his own family, though? That's the other...
Depends on which one he likes.
I think he'll let them fall, except for Ivanka.
And back to your question, Courtney, because Jared is Ivanka's husband, but he's kind of trusts her. But they were all in this Russian thing as well. You know, so to me, I think the issues they're all interwoven. All the issues are interwoven. To see if Harry was here, he could break down, break down all of this, and break down all of the testimony, and break down who shot John and who going to jail, and who might be going to jail, and Trump little whack speech at this
which one?
When he was hugging the flag.
Oh, that craziness for 2 hours.
2 hours.
It was whack, wasn't it, Jim?
When he was running the light.
Yeah. No, you didn't.
The light.
Just give me the light.
Wow.
And it was just whack. What'd you think of the speech, Jim?
I thought it was one of several whack speeches for the entire week. I thought he said a lot of kind of out there stuff, including the stuff on the Little Rocket Man and all kinds of stuff.
That was the Otto Warmbier and the family had to come out and say, "Look, we quiet." But I wish they would have directly rebuked President Trump, like
why did he say
Santorum?
Right? Rick Santorum?
Yeah, didn't he kind of
Corey Gardner from Colorado, I know did.
Yeah, and Santorum, I thought that he specifically said that President Trump, what he did and what he said, coddling up to Kim Jong-un was wrong.
Which right?
Yep.
And then saying you take his word at something is another thing, which that's kind of a pattern.
Yeah, isn't it? It is. That's what we're going to talk about on tomorrow, on why he has this feeling that he has. But it brings us to our word of the day, which is what, Kyle B?
Idiom.
Idiom, I-D-I-O-M, a noun, an expression in the usage of a language that is peculiar to itself, either grammatically or in having the meaning that cannot be derived from the conjoined meanings of its elements. That's the first definition. The second is the language peculiar to a people or to a district, community, or class of dialect. The syntactical or grammatical or structural form of a peculiar language, and then that's the 2B definition. And then the third definition is a style or form of artistic expression that is characteristic of an individual, a period or movement or medium or instrument. The modern jazz idiom. It's a Middle French, Late Latin, Middle French idiome from the Late Latin idioma. Individual.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
And we're back with more Cheryl Underwood Radio.
Thank you, super producer. Hey, Harry Southern, our favorite country lawyer, better known as Judge Harry Southern.
Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
You teach everybody. I still trying to find out their names. March, but listen, I teach 150 of you. Okay, so
welcome back to the Artist Exchange radio show here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. I'm your host, Mr. Nate Couser. We just finished an awesome conversation with Mr. Sonny Dumarsais. He'll be in Baltimore for a private gathering, and hopefully we can get a concert out of him soon. But we're here with Miss C. Natasha Richburg. She is guest co-hosting today. And then we have Miss Monique.
Hello.
Bonds, joining us for the conversation today. And today, I mean, this conversation in general is very necessary for me. It's very necessary for what I do. I teach on the other end of the spectrum with babies and trying to give them, I still talk to them the same way. It's crazy. And they'll be sitting there like, Mr. Couser, I'm not a professional artist, I don't know what you're talking about. But I remember people coming to my classroom and introducing me to their talent and their passion, but I wish I would have gotten a business conversation from them because I didn't need it at that moment, but it would have prepared me for what I was facing. The bumps and hurdles of this is detrimental to your psyche.
Yes.
Because you go through a lot, and it's like I'm in a period of right now where I'm by myself, and I can cut somebody off with the quickness and be by myself, and I'm comfortable with that because I see the necessity of the business of what I do, and the business doesn't always allow me to bring everybody with me.
Right.
And that's a hard pill for me to swallow.
Right.
Because I just feel the need to save the world and bring the world along with me, and it slows down my ride.
Right.
And it distracts me from my ultimate goal.
Right.
So having this conversation, and these are things that myself and Ms. Richburg have had conversations about several times.
Right.
And I'm hard-headed sometimes because I've done it my way. And I remember the last thing that I remember about college, someone wrote an article about me, and I didn't know they were writing the article. And when I got the article, the last thing that was said in the article about me was Nathan is going to succeed by his means only. And at first, the first couple years, because this was my professor who I looked at like my grandmother and like a mother figure to me, and I felt disrespected because I didn't know what that meant. I thought she was was meaning like he only going to succeed if his selfishness allows him to. So that's how I saw it. I didn't see it because I know I was rebellious, and I would go head to toe with her if necessary, because I felt like the protector in the department. We had a really small department and a really small voice that we were allowed to have, and I felt like I had to, you know, be the voice all the time. And when I read that, I didn't speak to her for years. I really didn't, because I didn't know where she was coming from with it. But I discovered after like seeing that, like cleaning up my apartment one day, and like I saw it, and I remember reading the article and really feeling good that somebody chose me to write an article about one. But I read it, but because of the experience that I had, I read that line from her differently. I couldn't make it the way everybody else did. I didn't look like everybody else. You know, I didn't sound like everybody else. You know, I have to get a sinus infection for my voice to have any type of bass in it. So that's a problem for people out there in the industry, because I don't sound like the man they would want me to be. I don't look like the part, you know, so I had to make it, you know, the hard way, the struggle way, my way. And I've read that totally different after the fact. And it was crazy enough, I was asked to do her retirement party from our university, and I went there thinking I was going to just show her that I'm talented, and I read it right before I went there, and it was the craziest thing because it kind of calmed me down, and I didn't feel like I had to prove anything, but I had to show up and just show her that I am making it my own way. It's not as fast as everybody else. It's not the same path, but I had to really do that. So if we could go over one more time the bullet points, so we can kind of get some closure and kind of summate what we have been talking about.
So this week is talking about what's your life purpose as an artist. So do you have a plan? What's the question that drives your destiny? And some questions are, am I good enough? And what is your personal mantra? You know, that's the fuel that drives us. And are you comfortable sharing your purpose with others? You know, you always talk about how I'm like the wizard behind. I still like to be the wizard. I'd rather be behind pushing. Study, exercise, drink water, sleep, but be behind and not out in the front.
That's that corporate foundation.
Yeah, is that what it is? That's what it is, Denise.
Just follow your heart, ma'am. You know where you're supposed to be.
Because, well, in the corporate world, we're taught that the leaders and the owners and such, they're the face. When we know we really are the face.
Yeah, we are the face.
We get used to being in the office, in the cubicle, in the cave, if you will, and the bosses and the CEOs get to, you know, live lavishly and show their face of our hard work. So it's hard coming from that and now asserting yourself, and you now are the face of what you're talking about. That's why many of us have a problem with simply writing a mission statement. I don't know what it is I want to do.
And I could write it because I wrote it for other people and they live what I wrote. Right, Denise.
But what is your mission statement? I've been asking people that question for a minute. You know, many of my co-hosts, many of the artists that I come, you good at telling me what we all want or what the ultimate goal is, but what is it that you specifically want? And I have some really intelligent people who can't answer that question.
And see, I know what I'm called to do. I'm called to be the individual that helps intellectualize those things that seem foreign to others. I'm the person that if you come to me with all of your stuff all over the place, I help organize it in a line to push you to your destiny. I don't have the answers, you have the answers. I take what you already tell me and find your answers.
You are the director.
Now you have to brand that for yourself.
That's why I'm C Natasha Productions, because that's what I do. I produce.
And that's a baby in comparison to everything you've done for everybody else.
Oh, it is a baby, yeah.
And that's that even somebody who has it, who can get you there like that, it is often harder for that person to get that for themselves.
Right.
That has been the hardest thing for me. You want me to sell tickets? I can sell your tickets all day long. But when it's connected to me, I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. Let me go find somebody I can hire to do this. So now that ticket sale is being chopped up how many more times? Because now I have to pay this person to sell this ticket.
Right.
So it's difficult, and I'm acknowledging to everybody that I talk to, I don't have the golden ticket. All I can give you is the experience that I've seen in others and my personal experience. And it's up to you to take from it what you need and then go forth. But that's a hard thing for people to manage themselves.
Right. That is.
It's me. I'm the business. I'm the product. I'm the service.
Yeah, because when we're the product and we're the service, it goes against that thing we're taught as Christian. You're not to brag about yourself. You're not to show confidence, because that's arrogance. And so I struggle with that. But what I do, I get around smart people like you. Say, let me help you. You want me to do an idea? I don't want to be in front of this camera. I got an idea to help you in front of this camera. Because that part of saying, I'm good enough, people take that as cocky. And I'm not cocky. It's just a fact when it comes to certain things. I'm clear what ain't my ministry. I'll tell you in a second. Certain things are not my ministry. I'm not going to sing. That's not my ministry. But if you want to be an artist, I can help you. If you don't want to be, I'm, you know, good. That's the kind of thing. So
it's about sharing that spotlight. I used to feel like, specifically with this was the one thing that I was not willing to share. I shared everything from my underwear to, I'm telling you, I've been that cousin. I've been
that's true.
That friend. If you didn't have it, I'm going to make sure you have it. You hungry? Let's go eat something. We will probably eat off the same plate sometimes, but we going to eat. But this was the one thing that I was adamant about not sharing. I'm not sharing it. Right. I wasn't going to share it because everything about my business, my art, I've had to share it. I've had to help you. Even with jewelry. Okay, you don't got enough to pay for a vending table. All right, let me move my stuff over. You put your stuff on this table. You know, my acting, I'm going to teach you how to act. This was the one thing that I had that I knew I was great at, that I did not have to share. And then it has only been in the last couple years where I've had to replace and erase and move over and shift my goals and my dreams and my needs and the things I said I'm not going to do, that I've gotten the best results out of this platform. And it's been me being able to take back. And that was when I became the station manager. Because outside of that, I was like, well, I got to save that guest for myself. Let me put this guest over there. I'm not going to give you this guest. Or I'm welcoming people in when I do get a good guest. Or I'm sharing my platform for other people to kind of springboard and do what they need to do. I was really methodical. You was late to my show? Next. Because I got a guest waiting out there. Come on in. And that was who I was, because I was never that person anywhere else in my life. So I had to be I had to do that. It's like being selfish for your season. I had to be that selfish because I had to understand what my boundaries were. I had to understand what I really wanted in life. And I had to, for once, take me seriously. I took everybody else seriously, and I neglected my needs and my wants when I was 35. So it's a lot of moving and shifting, but you have to like stay focused. I've seen Sonny kind of, you know, come from behind Miss Richburg and like start being more. And that wasn't until I started the Lancey show, and I seen him running around with a chicken, like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to make sure everybody was okay and everybody. And I just was like, oh, okay, so I'm just here to be an audience member. I had the urge to be like, sit down, let me help you out. And I said, no, I just traveled a long way just to watch the show. I'm going to chill out. I had every intention saying, boy, sit down. I'll make sure what you need. And I sit down, and I ate, and I sipped on my ginger ale, and I had fun. So I think it's just a balance that you have to have as an artist. But that business, for me, it just wasn't everything that it was said to be.
Right.
That's not what y'all said. You told me that I was going to have to learn my lines and get on rehearsal on time, and I'll be fine.
Right.
But the business is now getting the job.
Right.
Like, what is that?
Right.
I learned the lines. I'm a great actor. Like, what's going on? Now I gotta look a certain way, I gotta sound a certain way, I gotta dress a certain. Man, I don't want to do that. And I had gotten into that rut. I didn't want this no more. It was too much. Like I signed up for radio, not for a fashion show. Like, what is this? I got to take pictures now?
Oh, you sound like my first conversation with you. We talked about that. When you came to Black Jewel's show, and that outfit was amazing.
See, I can turn it on a little bit.
But no, it wasn't on a little bit. It was amazing. I was like, daggone it. I want to see more of that. Because it was
She
amazing.
had already met me at that point. That's sad.
But it was amazing.
I'm come out with my good garments.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
Well, part of the thing is, Miss Richburg is good at telling you what she wants her standards to be. So even if it was just at the motor house, I knew what her standard was. I knew what
you did?
her expectation
Oh, that's my standard for myself. You have no problem.
I mean, I had already interviewed you already.
Yeah, you had. Yeah.
I already met you through the Authors Expo and everything. And actually, that was my second time interviewing you.
Yeah.
So we had already been through that, and you invited me out. So I knew, what I was going to be doing. So I knew I had to have a certain, exterior.
Well, you succeeded. It was wonderful.
I just gave her a little more.
No, it was wonderful. I don't want you to think it was okay.
No, it's not
It was amazing. I still can see it.
When you can still see it, that's a good outfit.
That's what I'm telling you.
Okay,
It was amazing.
I get up in my African drag a little bit. I know how to switch it up a little bit. But that's something that I learned. We had to learn that. I had a grandma as a theater instructor. So she didn't play that. When we travel, we were going to dress a certain way.
Right.
Tuck that shirt in. Get that together.
Right.
Even
with me, when we go on road trips, you're not coming out looking any old kind of, you need to look like an artist.
Right.
And even when we have killer road trips, sunglasses are required because them eyes is bloodshot.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, so it's not, I used to think they were being cute. No, sometimes you bloodshot.
You're sleepy.
You're so sleepy. You need to have sunglasses. That's a part of it when we're really sleepy. And so you have to, because people need to, I wonder what you do. That's how you should look when you go into the airport.
Right.
You need to
I
look.
got to switch that up because
When you go into the airport, people should know this. You just like when I went on that in and out to Charlotte. You got to have a sharpness to you that people go, okay.
Yeah.
It's gotta be like that because people, even if they don't like your page, they know everything about you.
Yeah.
And they see you places.
Yeah.
And you're representing that brand. And just like Sonny said, you're never off.
No. And that's the tiresome thing about it. You have to sometimes.
You're never off.
You have to learn to take your break.
Yep.
But you have to, that's one of the things that I've had to realize. Well, you know that because I'm a theater artist.
Right.
So the audience is in your face. There's no time for, you know what, let's try to do that again. No. Even on stage, you messed up that line.
It's
go
over.
to the next.
The line is
It's fast. Maybe next show.
Yeah.
But not this one.
Tomorrow is when you're going to be able to think about this again.
Exactly. And not even tomorrow, tonight. Get it together. You should have already thought about it.
Period. You need to go on to sing too.
So from this conversation, and I don't relish in people thinking that I'm mean or difficult now, but it's very funny to me. It's hilarious to me because I know where my energy is coming from. Right. But at the same time, I was that person who thought just take the note. We just finished joking about that. Take the note. That's it. Take the note. Thank you note. That's it. That's all I should hear back in return. Because sometimes we want to, when we do this, our ears are closed. So I'm trying to I got something to say. No, you don't. Take the note. You have to learn something in order to question it. And I don't feel like you've learned anything in this moment. So that's how I really talk to my students. So that's why they think that I'm mean. But I have to be direct because any type of cushion or cotton candy lesson planning to you will be over your head and you can take advantage of it. And then you're not going to be where you're supposed to be. So I try to give the information that doesn't change who you are, but that will cushion your fall 10 failures from now. So at some point you will draw back from what you heard and remember something, or something will pop in your head that, oh, if I do this, then this will happen. All right, that's what I'm going to do this time.
Yeah,
and then you get that taste.
Because when I tell people the truth, they say you're mean. And I said, no, I mean you well.
Yeah, because truth now is, oh, let me feed that ego. Let me feed that ego.
And
that's not truth anymore.
That's not truth. And if I tell the truth, they go, she's so mean. I'm not mean. I mean you well. The people who sit there and say, girl, that was good, and it wasn't, they're mean.
Miss Barnes, I'll go back to you.
Period.
I'll go back to you. So overall in this conversation, to hear Sonny and Ms. Richburg, like, what are your takeaways? What is your input, so on and so forth? Because I saw you taking notes.
Yeah, you did good.
I truly understand that I've been missing the business part of this entire experience. I feel like I got this artist part down pat. As you've been saying things, I can answer some of the questions that you have on that list. Or some of the questions that you've had in this, interview and experience period. I can answer some of them. But then on the other side, the unknown. I don't know about some of the business things. But I do feel like there's some artists who don't know who they are or the artistry of it. I think I've really honed in on, I could answer what kind of music, what I would want to say, what, I don't know, even what colors I would be wearing, what kind of videos I can answer all of that. But the business part, you gave me that today. I did not understand, and I think that maybe I've been in my life to be at this moment to decide. Do you want to do this? To decide, do you want to do this? And I think that throughout my life, you never know if one of those little decisions will come back up or if it'll mean anything.
But you know what you got? What question drives your destiny?
Exactly.
That's
and that's
your
the question that I can answer so badly. Like, I really understand, and I thank God for Curtis Bay. I understand that children are now in my vision. I understand that mental health is now in my vision. I understand what's in my vision, what my goal is, and what drives my destiny. And I want people to really understand the true positive meaning of music. It hurts me, and I know I can't change the world, but it really hurts me that every song right now is about lean and drugs and money and or being better than somebody. I'm better than you. I really think, and that's what Sonny said. Let's take it, honey. Where you at? I wrote it down. Here you are. He also said master of my own destiny, but he said take it back to when music was fun again.
Yeah, that's what he did. He did.
Take it back to the days when music was both positive and fun. It's fun now, but is it positive? And these children need it. I go to school and they tell me the artists they want to hear. That's not what you need. People do not think that music has any control, and it is a very powerful thing.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell a very quick story. It's not about me, but there was a little girl. She was just born, and she was having heart complications. She was not going to make it. They usually don't allow little children in the hospital, but they allowed the little brother, older brother, to come in, and he started to sing, "You Are My Sunshine," that song. And the heartbeat of that little girl started to beat. People do not realize, it's almost like we're ignorant to the true purpose of how it is healing. I think, Michael Jackson, he had some of the Dirty Dianas, he had the Thriller, he had those types of things, but he also had Heal the World. He also had They Don't Care About Us. He also, people, we need to hone back in on the purpose, because music flows and it creates other things that trickle, you know what I mean? So I just thank you so much for giving me I'm taking a note. No, for real, in my whole life. I never thought that I would ever have any social media ever again, and I'm considering that because I get where you're coming from. You're not trying to tell me be somebody that I'm not. You're not trying to tell me, well, do it anyway. You just have to. It's just what you have to do. You're giving me the clear concrete reasons on how that can just help you place you where you are, because obviously life now is a little bit more digital. That's just what it is.
And people don't see you as visible when you don't have a digital footprint. And I remember when I met Sonny, I said, what's your digital footprint? He thought it was pretty good. Then we checked. He realized it sucked. Now it's wonderful. You Google him, it's wonderful. People, when my husband goes to work, they said, my wife has seen Natasha Richburg. And he said, Google her. And they say, wow, your wife does all this. It's just that simple.
And I feel like you could do that for me. I do so many different things. And like you said earlier, you weren't talking to me directly. I am the person that's going to organize all of these things that you have going on. And I feel like that's very important to just have that organization if your heart is in the right place.
No matter what you do, adjacent to what your dreams are, it will always lead you back. I fell out of love with acting a minute ago, like when I was in college, because I got tired of people telling me I wasn't tall enough, I wasn't light enough, I wasn't dark enough, I wasn't man enough, I wasn't this enough, anything. And that was based on their insecurities, of course, and what the standard said I should be.
Yes, the standard.
But what happened was, I said, oh, you know, I'm going to be a stage manager because I'm going to skip my money. I'm going to be connected to the arts, probably get free tickets to everything, you know, and I could just go home and go to sleep. But I would be backstage like, this person sucks. And I found myself critiquing people more and more, and then saying, okay, you can't be negative, so let's help him. And I felt myself helping people, but I said, I'm gonna memorize this boy lines because he gonna be kicked out and they gonna need somebody to replace him. So that's how I began to get roles as a stage manager, because I would just swoop right in. I know your lines because I've been sitting here the whole time, and I just did it the way I saw that director wanted it. Because you were too arrogant and just too inexperienced to really know what this person wanted, and I would swoop right in, and I would wait. I would let them choose the first 3 people on the list. Go ahead. He gonna be gone in 2 weeks. He gonna be here for about a week. Or he not staying at all because he not even coming back to rehearsal. And then I would just be like, well, I know the lines, and I would just get up there and wow them, and they're like, oh my God, like okay. But they couldn't see me at audition day, but they would see me, you know, on the last hour when they needed somebody. And then I made that a career. That wasn't healthy because I was always banking on somebody else's failure. And that's not good. But you can be everything besides what you really know you are, and you will always find a way to get back to it because it's going to keep being thrown in your face.
I feel like my issue with wanting to really say my name is, if I were to ever have a stage name, my stage name is Eleanor B, and I am here to do this, that, and the third. I never wanted to do it because I knew that the world wants sex. The world wants sex. The world wants drugs and money. The world wants what everybody else is thinking about, even Beyonce. I am not going to do that. So I felt like there's no reason for me to do anything because I am not what the world wants. Or say if so I got a little fan base. I don't want a little fan base. I want to be all the way up there, but I'm not going to change who I am. I'm not going to sing about what you want me to sing about. I know what the world wants.
So what's India.Arie then?
India.Arie's not as famous as Beyonce.
But that's not the point. She's out there. She has a market.
It took her a long time, but I hear you.
It took her a long time, but she still has a market. And I waited for that album to come out. And if you were out there, you would have a market, and I would be waiting for the album to come out. And guess what? I would never be too old to hear your music. I'll never be too old to hear India.Arie.
And commercial success does not pay your bills.
No, it doesn't.
Whitney Houston was a commercial, just, it's not even a word to describe her.
Commercial pop?
She wasn't. But you know how much money she had in her account at the end of that career?
Are you saying she was broke?
She was broke in terms of Dolly Parton being rich because of her.
Dolly Parton's rich because...
That one song.
What song? I Will Always Love You?
I Will Always Love You.
Dolly Parton did that first.
Yes.
It was her song.
Right. That's exactly what happened. And Whitney.
How many times did you hear Dolly Parton's version?
No, once. I think I heard a snippet. I don't think I heard
in the movie that Whitney Houston starred in.
Oh my God. Okay, I get what you're saying.
It's just putting it into perspective. Like, you really have to focus on what commercial
So Dolly
success.
got that money instead of Whitney?
Yeah, she does.
No, I'm so sorry.
She's still getting it.
Even the video.
Yes.
Every
that's
time
her song.
you play that song,
that's her
she
song.
gets some change for it. Compared to Whitney had to tour to make money from it.
Okay.
So it's like she said, any arena is a success because she can go into any arena and there's going to be a crowd.
Can she really?
Kendrick and the family.
Yes.
So can Janet Jackson and this person and that.
Yes.
Right, but she always going to sell out her tours. But that's how they have to make money.
Yes.
Commercial success and actual success is two different things.
But that's going back to the business.
Commercial, so.
But that's going back to the business of it.
Right.
So you're looking at it from the artistry. I'm looking at you from the business. Because from the business, if you just get a little bit of commercial success, we could take you to Vegas. With that energy.
And I would live.
And see, with that energy on stage.
Yeah.
I've seen Cirque du Soleil in Las Vegas.
She gave you the example of J. Cole and the dollar ticket.
You did.
Like, guess how much money he probably made from that dollar ticket.
And I would love to do that, like $1 for kids. Like, I would want some of my audience to be kids.
But first you have to get the commercial grab and then do you, sweetie.
Yeah.
Do you?
Let something hit the Ethernet. Let something hit it.
Let something.
And then from that,
I'm also nervous. I'm my biggest critic.
We're not worried about words.
But we're going to take, this is our well, we don't even have another break. So this is the end of the show. Thank you all for coming.
No, thank you.
Shout out to Sonny. I'll see you soon. And we're ready for next week. Can you give us just a 30-second of what next week is?
Artist Life, we're going to have Rod Lopez, film director, movie maker, extraordinaire, and we're going to go through the whole artist development process.
And he's going to be in the studio.
He's coming in the studio.
So check that out. We'll be here next Friday. And we're here every Monday and Friday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. here at BeExposedRadio.com. Coming up tonight, we got It Is What It Is radio show. They're going to come in and bang it out. But again, I am Nate Couser, your host. This is the Artist Exchange radio show. We're always looking for new guests. We're always looking for new sponsors. And speaking of sponsors, thegritfund.org. Go there, travel there. Coming up this weekend, we have Cameron and the Cameron Sessions #3. So definitely check that out. The Artist Exchange radio show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
With more Cheryl, the Underwood Radio.
Thank you, Super Producer. Man, we having such a great conversation. Argument went all the way through the